Guys, today we're going to be working on basically adding a library that caches images, network images, and we got images working last time and they work great. The only challenge is on some of the larger images there's some stutter on Android. I'm not noticing on the simulator, and then we're also reloading the images each time we load one of these cards. So what I want to do is implement this library called cache network image, and that'll allow us to cache the images once we load them. So I did a DuckDuckGo search and I found this library. So we're going to basically go from the beginning on installing it. So we're going to go over to pubspec.yaml, and we're going to add our cache network image dependency, and we're going to do packages.get. While it's doing that, I'm going to open up a new tab, and that worked. And Flutter's in kind of active development, so I'm going to do a Flutter. Actually, I'm just going to make sure our Flutter version that we're running locally is up to date. So I'm going to do update. And it must be upgrade. And so we're going to do a quick check, make sure our Flutter is up to date. Hold on, let me turn the lights back on. Some lights went off in the background. Okay, and everything looks good. So now we've got our dependency down, and we're going to go look at how we use this dependency. So this is a full implementation here. There was a very brief implementation, so let's import our network image, and this is our list view screen. So let's go over to list view, and we're going to collapse everything except the lib directory for now. And we're going to open our list view, and we're going to add our import for our cache network image. And then we're going to go back to our README. And this is really the piece that we need here. So we're going to load an image URL inside a cache network image widget. And then we're going to have a placeholder that's a circular progress indicator. And then if there's an error, we're going to show icons.error. So I also made a method for getting the image widget. Hopefully it is a subclass, or it is somehow a type of image. We'll have to see if we can actually, I didn't check, we'll have to see if this is actually a valid swap here. So we're going to paste in this piece right here, and we don't need this. So it looks like it is. It's not getting upset at me at all. And then let's do reformat. And I don't have the auto indent in this one, but let's get our indentations right. So we're going to go up here, we're going to auto indent. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to, instead of loading this placeholder image, we need to do event.photo URL. And if everything worked correctly, this should just work. So the way that we'll know it worked correctly is we see loading indicators, and we also see the images load. And right now it's just a blank screen, so that's not what happened here. I wonder if I can just make this widget. Let's try that. Not both of those were of type image. Okay, so there we go. As you can see, there's something weird going on here. The size of the image is not does not match the size of the other logos, and they're also not finishing their load. So something's going on here. So let's first things first. Let's update the size. Let's see if it takes a width and a height. It does. And let's reload. And the loading indicators are still there. So we're going to kill the whole app. I'm not sure. It should have data, but let's check if this Eventbrite page doesn't load. So Eventbrite loaded, but we still don't have our images loaded. So I'm going to stop this completely. And I wish our icon, can we set a size for the icon? I think we can. So let's do this, comma, size. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's going to be the width and the height. Let's try it out. So we've used this number quite a bit in this app, so we probably want to make this a constant somewhere. And hopefully this build finishes quickly. Who would have thought that this library wouldn't work the first time? Oh, like I said earlier, I open sourced the app today, so I was able to remove some of the private details. Basically, there was some Firebase keys stored in the app that I removed, and so they're gone now. And oh, never mind, they should be gone, but they're not gone. But regardless, I'll clean those up, and it's basically online now, so should be good. Okay, so I need to add this as a secondary remote. And now it's working. So let's load it again. One thing I don't like is it looks like this stutters a little bit more than the last one. So we're going to have to try it on a real phone. But you can see right when we get, so we're scrolling, and you can tell when it's about to load one of these images, the list view stops and it stutters. So even caching these network images just didn't fix that. So it's probably one of our images is really big. I know that when we were looking at our Eventbrite API, there was basically an original image size and a thumbnail size. And I still don't like that those indicators aren't they aren't the same size as the, as the other images. So let's see if we can fix that real quick. It looks like I updated the wrong widget there. So how do we set the size on this widget? Let's check it out. Circular project indicator, key double value. The value argument or non-null, background color, value color. Sends progress indicator. Does progress indicator take a size? Let's just do a quick search for size. That's not what we want. What about height? We can always try to wing it, see if that works. And no, it doesn't take a size. It doesn't look like. What about height? Nope. So we'll have to research how we get the circular progress indicator. One of these images got huge. That's the one that's having a hard time loading. I'm going to actually switch it back. So I don't think cached network image is the right fix for us, but let's see if it takes a size. So it actually takes a width and a height, which we don't have set. So let's see if we can do it that way. So let's pass in a width, and let's pass in a height. And this is actually for our loading for our cached network image widget. So we're going to pass it into the actual widget itself. We've got that stutter again. So this image for using Adobe Illustrator, CSV, and other variable data techniques, I think it's that one, or it's listening presentation by Katie Collins. It's causing Flutter to choke because it's probably loading a massive image. But let's hit play. I want to make sure that our loading indicator is the right size. And hopefully it'll show that it's still not the right size. So this placeholder, I would like to get to the same size as the rest to the actual image widget itself. So let's see if circular progress indicator has any size parameters. Still not seeing anything good there. Value, color, still nothing good here. Properties, background color, nothing good. Circular progress indicator, nothing good there. So let's check the API of this itself. And that's the API. But hopefully, so we can get alignment, fit. I wonder if we can set the fit here. Placeholder widget. I really wish the placeholder expanded. What are we fitting it into? Will it expand if we fit it into a particular space? So we're not giving it a container to go into, and I'm wondering if it expects a container. And it doesn't look like there are any constructors that have a size out attribute. That's bullcrap. You know what? What if for our placeholder we just use the default image that we have, the pizza icon? And then maybe we do a fade in from the pizza to whatever the actual icon is. So let's do that. Let's do image asset, and I know we're having some duplication of code here. But what if we do that? Let's hit play. So now we should, okay, so we have pizza icons and then they fade into the actual image. And one of these is choking big time. It's this listening presentation by Katie Collins. This image is huge. So let's do a quick fix. So that basically is how we can implement this cache network library, and we can set a placeholder that is of a correct size. I think if we had put in an expanded element in center of this same width and height and centered that progress indicator, it would have looked a little bit better. But since we already have kind of a default icon, we're going to use that and then fade into the actual image once we load it from the internet. And like I said, this is online. This is open source now. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. One other thing that I'm working on next is I switched from using the Google Map implementation, which is an overlay, to a implementation of the leaflet library made by I think Aptree, and so far it's working. It's working pretty well. I've actually deployed it to a phone, and it's fairly performant. But the next thing to do is to get all our events on this map, and I'm looking to do that next. And I don't know if I'm going to take them from Firebase and store them into the database first, like SQLite, or I'm going to pass it like a stream that it can load the markers from. But that's going to be the next step. And like I said, everything is online right now. I put it on GitHub if you'd like to look at it. Here's the location. It's under DASA 5000. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. Any way you can get hold of me. Thank you.